To be blunt, I didn't know about the Beach Boys and until I guess it was Surfing USA. I'd heard Jan and Dean. Where I came from, I was listening to the Ventures, so that's where I started listening to that, to I guess surf music, for want of a better word. I love the Ventures. I love Perfidia. Man, remember I'm a drummer, so I'm learning. I'm learning how to play 2/1. Boom boom bum bum boom boom bum bum boom boom bum bum. Boom boom bum bum boom boom bum bum boom boom bum bum. Boom bum 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 bum. So that's more about the Perfidia than the Beach Boys. I heard the surf music and I didn't like it. We had some other bands coming from the United States that were kind of doing high. It was the harmonies and doing a lot of that. That was starting to become effective in music. And for me, I didn't really rattle my cage, that much. What really put me inside the Beach Boys was when they made a movie about Brian Wilson. And even though I'd liked the Beach Boys in when their records came out, it's just like, wow, that's a great track, that's a good song. But it was when Brian Wilson's movie came out, and it wasn't Brian that was actually in the movie, but it was about Brian. And I've seen that movie about 15, 16 times because I'm looking at every detail. Brian Wilson was a songwriter. I'm a songwriter. And I'm watching how and what he went through. And a lot of the things that that band went through, sad to say, it wasn't unusual for me to look at the not the differences, but look at the things that were the same. And it's like, holy shit, they went through that too, One of the things I have in common is Hal Blaine was their drummer. I love Hal Blaine. I've been listening to Hal Blaine since I was a kid, But musically and being a songwriter, as I feel like I am, I really appreciated the way that he put things together, and he wasn't afraid. He took chances, he took risks, and that's what I do. In my music today, I if I want something, I'll do that. I'll just go wherever I need to go to make the song sound like I think the sound ought to be. And I'm not limited. I'm not limiting myself to how I should be according to what I used to do. I'm not in that cage. I'm not in that bag. I play whatever the fuck I want to play as a musician. So it was through Brian Wilson in the movie, and I know that movies are not necessarily true life, but there were some things that rang a bell, relationships, the things with his parents, all these things. And there were so many commonalities that the band went through, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't stop looking at this. I really can't stop looking at this at all. It was more like a documentary than a movie, So I'm just fascinated by it, and I will say this out loudly and unashamedly. I watch the movie quite often, especially if I'm in depression or if I'm in feeling that I'm, wasting my time, or if I feel like I'm just like, in a hole somewhere. I'll put that movie on and I'll watch it, and it's very uplifting for me. There's a lot of things I love to listen to other musicians. It's other musicians that taught me when I was 10 years old, when I was 5 years old, and it's other musicians that teach me now. Now I'm 78 years old. I'm still being taught by musicians. So that's what I love about it, and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about Brian Wilson. I thought he was fantastic, and I agree with Paul McCartney. God only knows, I think he's one of the best love songs ever written.
You answered my question. If there was, since you came to Brian Wilson kind of late, what were your favorite music from him? And that that answers the
I
question.
like Pet Sounds. He had a pair of balls. I love it. I love Pet Sounds. I liked God Only Knows. I liked I liked a lot of the Beach Boys music. It was great, and especially when I used to smoke marijuana years ago, a long time ago. It was that. He was saying that. I just ripped somebody else's stuff off.
That's funny stuff. That's interesting that you came to Brian so late in your musical journey. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, we turned on to the Beach Boys. When we come off the road, I would be with my wife, and we would be at Field Farm. We would be out in the fields and things like that, and we'd sing along with the songs.
Yeah,
We're human beings,
right.
so I knew of them. But Brian Wilson today turns me on because of where I am
Yeah,
today.
gotcha. So also to clarify, there's no surfing in Great Britain, right? There's no place that
No, unless you want to
anybody's
go be on the River Thames or something, or the English Channel.
there's no real surf
There's
there.
no real surfing. No, 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 no.